Hi everyone, I'm Richard Winstone, the Regulator Guy, and today we're going to be talking about the basics of your home energy bill. So I've had a few people say to me that they get their bill each month, there's a number, they pay it, and that's about as much as they know. And I'm a firm believer that if you're paying for something, you should know what it is you're paying for. So today we're going to go through some of the basic numbers that are on that bill. I'm going to explain them to you so you can get a better understanding of what it is you're paying for. I'm going to talk you through one of my own personal bills so you can see things like the tariff name, what the unit rates are and standing charges are and how they all work, and then give a bit of an explanation as to how Ofgem's price cap impacts you. So for just you're aware, about 75% of you are impacted by Ofgem's price cap, so please do give this video a watch. And if you're already on a fixed rate tariff, which I will explain in this video, then you don't need to worry so much, but perhaps your friends and family do, so please share this video around so we can spread a little education. All right, let's get into this. Okay guys, we're going to jump straight into this. I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible. I'm looking at what the majority of households have, so I'm going to be talking about homes that have both gas and electricity supplied. Your bill comes in 4 parts. You have gas and electric, and each of those are split further into standing charge and unit rates. Now, the figures I've used here are the Ofgem's price cap figures. So as I said, that's what 75% to 80% of households in the UK are paying at the moment. If you're not on a fixed rate tariff, these are roughly what you're paying, give or take. So the 4 parts, as I said, gas and electric is 2 of them. And then you have a standing charge, which is a daily fixed amount. That is the same amount every day of the year, regardless of what you do. And then your unit rate. So your standing charges at the moment are about £315 a year. That is regardless of the size of your property or how much energy you use. You can't change that. That is what it is, and you will pay that. Even if you own a second property that is empty all year round and no one lives there and you've got all the gas and electric turned off, the standing charge is a payment you make for the privilege of having pipes and wires go to your house. So that is paid by everybody. Unit rate is where you can control your energy bill. You are charged for every unit of energy you use. Your energy supplier will try to predict that at the start of your year, and then they'll give you a monthly amount to pay to cover their predicted amounts. But they'll also show you how much you actually are using. Every now and then they might drop in and say, we need to increase your direct debit or decrease it because you're over or underpaying. Now, many people don't understand if they're on Ofgem's price cap because obviously it doesn't say price cap as your tariff name. And different suppliers have different names for it. So here are some of the biggest suppliers in the country and the name of their standard variable tariff. That's a generic term for it. But some suppliers change that name. So Eon Next is the Next Flex. Octopus Energy is for the Flexible Octopus. Those are all just different names for standard variable tariff. And if any of these are your tariff, you are paying the Ofgem price cap figures, which is the highest amount you could be paying. Pretty much any fixed tariff and every fixed tariff is cheaper than the price cap. Okay, the price cap also leaves you open to changes in the energy industry. So the price cap changes every 3 months, means your energy bill changes every 3 months. One of the benefits of a fixed rate tariff is generally the minimum amount is 12 months and your prices don't change for that 12 months. You can get them up to 3 years, I believe, as a fixed rate. And your prices just will never change. You're in complete control because it's whatever you use, you'll pay for, and the prices are the same, which there's a lot to be said for. One of the things that people often get confused with your energy bills is they liken them to broadband bills. I always tell people, think apples, not broadband. That's what you should be comparing your energy bill to. And by that I mean, with your broadband, you pay a monthly amount, and it doesn't matter if you stream 1 Netflix movie or 1,000 Netflix movies. In that month, you pay the same amount. They don't charge you per megabyte of internet usage. You just have access to the internet, and it's a fixed price every month. They're never looking at how much internet you use. That's how your broadband bill works. Energy is not the same. You do pay a fixed amount every month, but that can change, especially if you're on a price cap tariff. But at the end of the year, at the end of the day, you're only ever charged for what you use. So it's exactly the same as buying apples from a supermarket. If you buy 6, you're paying £1.49. If you pay 60, you're paying £14.90. You pay for what you use, and the more you use, the more expensive it is. Equally, the less you use, the less expensive it is. So literally every time you leave a light bulb on, you're just throwing away money. If you leave the fridge open for too long, if you turn the hot tap on to wash your hands and in the 10 seconds you've washed your hands, it hasn't heated up, you've just wasted gas for no reason because you've flicked your boiler on and flicked it off again. If you're using the tumble dryer in the summer when you could be hanging your clothes, or if you've got the heating on in the winter and you're not hanging your clothes on an air and near your heater and you're still using the tumble dryer, you're just wasting money. You are in control of your energy bill the same way you're in control of your Apple's bill because you choose how many to use. So let's look at a couple of examples of how much your energy costs you, and I'll just run through these quickly, rather than I'll give you the maths on the screen, but rather than talking through it. If you left one LED light bulb on for an entire year, it's going to set you back £23.68. Every second it's on, it costs you money. But if you left it on for the entirety of a year, £23.68. It's not a lot of saving in one light bulb, but if your light switch controls 3 or 4 light bulbs, then it multiplies out. And the longer you keep the bulbs off, the more money you're saving. Tumble dryers are more expensive. This I'm looking at a typical condensing tumble dryer because that's what I have. One full load cost me about £1.41. So in the middle of the summer, or even now in the spring, I'm not touching my tumble dryer. It's hot enough outside to hang my clothes. And if I'm using my tumble dryer sort of 4 or 5 times a week, I can save myself £7 a week or £20 a month. £28 a month, sorry. So there's no benefit to me using my tumble dryer now when I can just be saving that money. Right, so we've gone through just a couple of quick examples of what's on your energy bill, what you're charged for, and how energy works. It's not like broadband, it's like Apple's. You pay for what you use. But there are various types of tariff, and that often confuses people. There are 3 types. You have a fixed rate tariff. This is almost always the cheapest. I can't think of a time when it hasn't been, but perhaps if the price cap was low, some suppliers might offer a tariff that's slightly more expensive than the price cap, but it lasts for 3 years. So you're getting the benefit of not worrying about your prices changing every 3 months. You've got stability. They might price it slightly higher than the price cap, but that's rare. Generally, like right now, if you went to a price comparison site, you'd probably save £230 a year on your energy bill because they are the cheapest. They come in for a fixed term. They're fixed term and fixed price, so it's not like broadband where your prices go up by inflation in April. The prices won't change throughout the term of your contract, whether that's 12 months or 36 months. And the prices stick to what they are. Remember, that's a price for your standing charge and your unit rate. So your bill can go up and down if you use more and less electric or gas, but your price for the units, per unit price of gas and electric won't change. Same with your standing charge, it won't change during the term of your contract. It offers a lot more stability. Then you get variable. There are some variable tariffs that aren't standard variable, i.e. they will change whenever the supplier wants, but they're not tied to the price cap necessarily. But they're few and far between, and I can't say I've seen one recently. Most of the time, your variable tariff is exactly what the Ofgem's price cap is. It changes every 3 months. It can go up or down. It's very insecure. And as you saw during the energy crisis a couple of years ago, you can go all the way up to £4,500, although a lot of that was covered by the government. But it is the most expensive way to manage your energy. The reason the price cap existed is because energy suppliers were taking advantage of people on variables. Prior to 2019, there was no price cap, and energy suppliers could put you on their standard variable and charge you what they want. And to illustrate that, British Gas used to get an average of around £550 million a year profits on supplying energy. And then the price cap came in and it dropped to 100 million. So that's how much they were just taking the mick out of their customers. So yes, the price cap helps stop suppliers from taking advantage of you, but they're still charging you way more than they need to maximize their profits. And then finally, you get a tracker. If you're dedicated to the flexibility of a variable tariff and you want to stick with a variable tariff, I'd say move to a tracker because it's exactly the same as a variable, except it's just below it. So it tracks Ofgem's price cap. It'll go up and down with the price cap, but it'll always stick a fixed amount below it. So you're still saving money. You can stick with the flexibility and the variability of a variable tariff.
I skimmed over it there, sorry, or mispast it, but there are usually exit fees with a fixed rate tariff. That's a bad thing. It just means that if you try to leave within the fixed term of your tariff, so if you've signed up for 12 months and you try to leave that tariff 6 months in, you'll have to pay an exit fee. The reason for that is that energy suppliers tend to try and purchase their energy beforehand. If you're on a fixed rate tariff, they have an estimate for how much energy you're going to use in the next year, and they just need to cover some of those costs. Right, so that is pretty much all you need to know about your energy bills. I'm going to look specifically at my own energy bill here, so excuse the black blocks where I've hidden some of my details, and I could talk you through basically reiterating what we've just spoken about. So this is what an EDF energy bill looks like. The bit on the left, that will change every month. That's a summary of your usage and the costs for that usage. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'm sure that's the page pretty much everyone looks at because it's just summary and we all understand what that is. The only interesting part there I've highlighted in yellow is the estimated annual costs. So they've predicted that's what I'm going to use over this next year. And they're probably basing that on my previous year's usage because I've been with EDF for a year or two now. The bit on the right is the part that most people will ignore because it looks very complex and overwhelming. There's way too many numbers there. And that's the bit I'm going to look into a bit more detail. We're going to have a closer look on the next slide to talk you through it real quick. First thing I want to say before I move over though, if you look at those black boxes, you've got two near the top and then two halfway down. Just above those two halfway down, you see the word gas. That is a cut-off line halfway down the page. This is actually two separate bill summaries on one page. You've got electric at the top, gas at the bottom. It's the first way you can simplify it. We're going to look at those two pages right here. Now you've got them side by side. They look a little more identical, which is great. Again, the bits I haven't highlighted that have the dates and all of the numbers, that's just meter readings, the dates they took those meter readings, and then a calculation of how much they're charging you. That'll change month on month. You can look right at the bottom and that will show you what you've actually been charged. Electricity charges for this period, gas charges for this period. That's the summary, and that's the only bit that really impacts most of us. The bit on the right that is highlighted for each section, that's the interesting part. This tells you all of your tariff details, and you should be looking at this on your bill right now and making sure there are a couple of things that are right. So, product type, mine says fixed. That's because I'm on a fixed rate tariff. It's the cheapest way to manage my energy. This is actually a little older, this bill. It's a month or so out of date now, and I have since switched. I was able to switch because if you look at the second line up in the highlighted section, early exit fee, there was none. So I switched tariffs to a cheaper tariff. But if your product type isn't fixed, if it currently says variable or tracker, or it may even say default means variable, then you're paying their most expensive tariff. You can contact your supplier and ask for a cheaper one, or you can click on the link I've got below this video. It takes you to a price comparison site, and that will show you your possible savings, and they'll do all of the work for you. You literally confirm a switch. The new energy supplier will get all of the details you've put into the website. They will contact your old supplier and manage the switch process for you. There's nothing else you need to do except wait for a letter in the post. But yeah, so you should be looking for a fixed tariff. The name at the top, that's really important. That name keeps under it all of the details of your tariff. So your unit rate for gas, unit rate for electricity, standing charge for gas, standing charge for electricity, and the end date of that tariff. All of that is under the title of tariff name, and that's important for when you're doing a price comparison. So if you're on, as I said, free price compare, you switch, go compare, whichever price comparison site you use, they will ask you your tariff name, and that's because they have all of those details stored under the tariff name. You click the name and they know exactly what you're paying per unit and per day and when your tariff expires. So that gives them more accuracy in predicting how much money you can save by switching to a different tariff. So it's important you note that. And then your unit rates and standing charges are there. Whenever you look at a new tariff, don't bother looking at what it says it's going to charge you per month or per year and what their estimated costs are and all of this. If you want to know exactly whether or not you're going to be paying more or less, look at the tariff details and then compare the unit rate for electricity with the unit rate for electricity on the new tariff you're looking at. Same with the standing charges, same with on gas. You can physically see if every number on your new tariff that you're looking at is lower than the 4 numbers you've got here for unit rates and standing charges, then you're obviously going to save more money on the newer tariff. If some are higher or lower, you need to work out whether or not you're better off with a higher unit rate. Let's say you're a 1-bedroom apartment and you have low usage. A higher unit rate might be fine if it's a significantly lower standing charge, because you can't really reduce your usage too much if you're in a 1-bedroom apartment and you're already very conscious of your usage, but you can reduce your standing charge and save some money that way. Vice versa, if you're a high usage household, let's say you've got 4 kids at home, you might look for a tariff that has a higher standing charge because you don't care about the daily fixed amount, you can't change that anyway, and it's a couple of pence extra per day. But if your unit rate comes down and you've got 6 people living in a house, saving money on your unit rate could save you hundreds of pounds per year. So it's better to have a low unit rate and a high standing charge if you're a high usage household. But that's pretty much all of the information you're going to get on your bill. It's not that complicated to go through. The final line there, sorry, I'll show you in the highlight section, is the estimated annual usage. I literally just pointed to my screen as well, but you can't see me or my hand pointing to the screen, so I thought I'd let you know that. The estimated annual usage is exactly that. It's an estimate. They're having a guess. They don't know what you're going to use. You don't know what you're going to use. We don't know what the weather's going to be like for the next year. We can't accurately predict what food we're going to eat over the next year, what food we're going to cook over the next year, whether we're going to have any holidays or go out for the weekend, what the temperatures are like. We don't know how much energy we will use in the next 12 months because none of us are psychics. Their estimated annual usage will be as close enough as it can be. It's unlikely to be wrong. If you do think it's significantly wrong, if you know last year you haven't moved house and last year you used a quarter of what they're saying you've used, then you just tell them and they'll update it. But it doesn't make a difference because you only pay for what you use, not for what they estimate you're going to use. If you happen to overpay on your energy bill, you can ask for the money back and they'll give it back to you. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything you need to know here. One final note, because I know it's the second time I've said it's everything you need to know, but one final note is right there at the top, not even highlighted. On the right of each section, it says prices do not include VAT unless otherwise noted. That means for the unit rate and standing charge below, I have to times them both by 1.05 to get what they're actually charging me for per unit and per day. And I had to do that if I'm trying to look at a new tariff and compare, because usually when you look at a new tariff online, they'll show you the prices including VAT. On your paper bill or your online bill, they're showing you prices excluding VAT, which makes the one you're currently on look cheaper than it is. So just make sure you're adding in the VAT before doing a price comparison if you're doing it manually. Alternatively, you can trust the algorithms of the price comparison sites. They are very complex. They are very good. They have millions of points of data in their background to help find exactly how much money you're going to save. And you can trust the savings figures they show you. So I do recommend price comparison to everybody. Get onto a fixed tariff. It's cheaper. It will save you money. Why pointlessly give energy suppliers extra profit they don't need? Comes out of your bank account for no reason. That is everything I wanted to tell you about your energy bill. It is still complicated, I understand. But basically, all you need to know, we will run right back to the start. There are 4 elements to your energy bill. They're split by gas and electric. It's 2 lots of standing charges, 2 lots of unit rates. Okay, standing charges, daily amount, unit rate, it's how much you pay per specific unit. And these are bad tariffs to be on. These are the off-gen price cap tariffs. They are the most expensive. If you are with one of these suppliers and you're on that specific tariff that's listed on the page right now, I'd say click the link below this video and go for a price comparison and save yourself hundreds of pounds per year because you are on the worst tariff you possibly could be. That's pretty much everything, and I actually mean it this time. So thank you for watching. If you found this useful, please do share it around with your friends and family, put it on social media, like it at the very least, and follow me and subscribe to the regulatorguy.co.uk's website. The next video I will be doing will be on doing your own price comparison. So I'm going to walk you through a price comparison so you know everything to look out for, and I can sort of explain the page that you're seeing. So yeah, please subscribe to my newsletter to get notified when that's posted. Thank you, everybody.